The husband and wife are walking and talking when suddenly a delivery girl bumps into them from behind. Startled, the delivery girl quickly says, "I'm sorry, it's my fault." The husband says in an annoyed tone, "Can't you watch where you're going?" The delivery girl lowers her head to apologize. Then, as she looks up, she freezes in shock and says, "Uncle." The husband, surprised, says, "Niece?" Hearing this, the girl panics and immediately starts running. The uncle hands the child to his wife, runs after her, stops her, and asks firmly, "What is all this? Why are you doing delivery work?" The niece replies with bitterness, "I don't want you to worry about me." Meanwhile, the wife also arrives, catching her breath, and asks, "Who is this girl?" The uncle says softly, "She is my niece." Then he looks at his niece and says firmly, "Why are you doing this job? What happened to your studies?" The niece takes a letter out of her bag and says sadly, "I got admitted to the university, but I couldn't continue studying. You can see it yourself." The uncle says in shock, "Such a good university, and you're still doing delivery work?" The niece replies quietly, "I don't have money for tuition. My mom remarried, sold the house, and moved to the city. I was left with no home and no support, so I had to work like this." The uncle says with pain, "So much happened and you never told me." The niece says nervously, "I was afraid." The uncle says firmly, "What was there to be afraid of? I'll pay your tuition." Hearing this, the wife gets upset and walks away. Then the uncle hesitantly says, "Don't worry, I have some money, take this. Pay your tuition first, and if it's not enough, let me know." The niece hesitates and says, "Uncle, can I live with you?" She stands at a distance and starts listening to their conversation. The uncle hesitates and says, "That won't be easy. My wife is already upset." Meanwhile, the wife is on the phone saying firmly, "Withdraw 800,000 yuan from the company account and bring it to the main gate immediately." The niece says in a choked voice, "Uncle, do you really care about me? Then why am I all alone?" The uncle says sadly, "Don't think like that. How could I ever leave you?" At that moment, the wife returns and says firmly, "Enough. That's enough." The niece, panicking, quickly hides the money behind her and says, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm leaving now." She starts to go. The wife says angrily, "I didn't tell you to leave. If you're going, leave the money here." The niece hesitates and says, "My uncle gave me this for my tuition. I can't give it back." The wife immediately takes the money from her hand and says, "That doesn't matter to me." Then she softens her tone and says, "I just want to talk to your uncle. Go wait over there for a moment." The niece quietly walks away. The wife turns to the uncle and asks angrily, "Why did you give her money without asking me?" The uncle, feeling guilty, says, "I'm sorry. I made a mistake." The wife says seriously, "Just giving money doesn't solve the problem." The uncle says sadly, "She's my niece. If I don't support her, who will?" The wife says emotionally, "Money can solve material problems, but it can't give love or a sense of belonging." The uncle says hesitantly, "At least she can use the money for food and a place to stay." The wife gently says, "Why don't we let her live with us? She's your niece, so she's mine too. We'll bring her home." The uncle says happily, "Thank you." The wife smiles and says, "No need to thank me. We're a family." At that moment, the niece runs back toward them. Final message: a woman is not weak. She is often the strongest force in holding relationships together and keeping a family united.